Fine. So again, since all of you are quite obedient, as I have said that you have to look previous year questions of prelims, mains, optionals as well. So I am quite hopeful that you will at least tell me the commands that you have seen. At least now I will know how many of you have looked at the questions. Because if you're looking at the questions, then you must know some commands. That's it. Some commands I have already mentioned. Okay. So फ्लोर इज ओपन वन बाय वन. पहले जिनकी शक्ल दिख रही है सूरज, क्योंकि पूरा कैमरे में घुस गया था ये. हाँ, टेल मी वन और टू कमांड्स एट लीस्ट दैट यू हैव रेड इन प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस. सोना नहीं है भाई, कमांड पूछा है मैंने. इसको नहीं आता, छोड़ो, पता लग गया. विवेक.
Yes, sir. The one is discuss, critically evaluate. Another is
गुड.
examine. Yes.
जब पूछा तब बताया करो, उसके बाद बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए मुझे जवाब. ठीक है. ओके विवेक, थैंक यू. यादगिरी.
Sir, I'm noting down the themes in the previous questions, sir. So I'm if I go for 40, I'm seeing the questions. What are the repeated most parliament?
No worries. I'm just asking you to tell me the command that you get in the end of the question.
So I'm not getting it, sir.
Okay, fine. No worries. Raghunath, I will not ask you because you will end up answering all the questions, all the commands. Shubhajit.
Critically analyze, examine, elucidate.
Good. Fine.
Do you agree?
थोड़ा सा जेंडर डाइवर्सिटी लाते हैं. नताशा.
Yes, sir. Sir, critically examine, explain, and a short note type का भी पूछते हैं. And
शॉर्ट नोट
हाँ,
नहीं
basically तीन. सर कुछ 100 words में keywords ऐसे करके भी पूछते हैं.
never. It used to be 1980s, 1990s. From 2011.
सर मैंने अपने ऑप्शनल में मैंने देखा था, इस वजह से मैं बोल रही हूँ.
Okay, fine. Accepted then. मेघा.
Comment, critically analyze, that's already been discussed.
Repeat मत करो यार.
Comment, observe, नहीं.
Fine, no worries. Kajal.
Sir, discuss.
रिपीट कर रहे हो, छोड़ो. सुल्तान. जो रिपीट करेगा वो इसका नहीं पूछूंगा फिर. अजय. अनम्यूट तो करे यार पहले, ऐसे थोड़ी बोलते हैं.
हेलो सर, आई एम ऑडिबल?
बिल्कुल.
सर एनालिसिस.
नहीं, एनालिसिस नहीं है. एनालाइज. हाँ
जी. और कंपेयर.
गुड.
डेमोन्स्ट्रेट.
नहीं
सर है, क्योंकि मैंने जब वो पढ़ा था एथिक्स के, जब मैं कर रहा था तो उसमें था एक.
डेमोन्स्ट्रेट विद एग्जांपल्स होगा, वो कमांड नहीं.
ओके.
फाइन.
और
मानसी.
सर इवैल्यूएट, आउटलाइन, आज के उसमें था इवेंट्स.
शांति बनाओ आप. सिद्धार्थ.
सर वो मेरा मोस्टली कवर हो गया सर, वो जितना मैंने देखा था सर.
ऑलमोस्ट सारे कवर हो गए हैं. फाइन, सिर्फ एक को छोड़ के, इलस्ट्रेट. तो मैं सोच रहा था क्या पता कोई बोल दे. फाइन, नो वरीज. And just to get you into the field, what is the command and all. Yadgiri, I hope now you are clear what did I mean when I said command.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it. Miss.
Okay, fine.
I didn't get this point.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's move forward. So let's discuss. Okay, let me share the whiteboard. One by one, we will be dealing with it. No? ये क्या हो रहा है? आप ठीक है. Fine. So let's discuss, comment, elaborate. That you guys missed, I guess. No one spoke as well. Fine. And yeah, these three. So if you look at the content of the comment, you will find that you don't have to take any side. No, you don't have to take. You have to just explain. Yeah, explain as well here. You have to just explain the things. When you say discuss, tell about the content of the question. Positive, negative, don't take a stand, totally up to you. So these are not that technical, that next level of commands we have. Okay. Similarly, comment, you have to just give a short note, explanation, something like this. When you will find elaborate. Okay. Elaborate is something, any concept will be mentioned and you have to open it up in different dimensions, in different meanings. Okay. You have to stretch the concept or the word or the thing mentioned in the question. Explain, as the name suggests, you have to explain it. Okay. How you will explain? Suppose I say Sultan. So there is a person who's sitting with the cam open, a Sultan. Okay. How will you explain? Then you will, yeah, he is quite focused right now. Achanak se name le liya to he has become more alert. Okay. Now I'm explaining kind of a screen that I can see. Okay. If I say suddenly Siddharth, okay. So he has mentioned Sidwar. So I'm kind of explaining about things. No logic, nothing, just explanation and all. I'm not analyzing his behavior. Okay. So I will come again to these two persons only. I'm not targeting anyone. Don't question me for this. Okay. Just jiski shakal dikh gayi, bas bol diya. Fine. Now, after these four, let's put our focus on examine, evaluate, analyze. These three are again in same manner, as I said that earlier. So examine, what does the doctor does to you when you go to him or her? He examines you. Similarly, you have to ask the questions to the question itself. Suppose there is a statement given, India is a mature democracy. Examine. Now, mature democracy. Mature is the adjective that has been used. Okay. Mature democracy. How it is mature? Why it is mature? What is the process of maturity? So when you are questioning the question, you are answering the examine. Similarly, evaluate. When you look at the evaluate, it will say you have to give marking. You have to standardize the things. आपका evaluation होता है. You guys get evaluated on your work, be it school, be it your work, or say office premise. You get evaluated on the same. What is the standard for which you are being evaluated? For example, if I evaluate tonight, Ajay, he was 1 minute early. So on the punctuality, he has been evaluated and he has been given 100%. Perfect. So he standardizes the things. So whenever you will be getting evaluate, for example, suppose JAM, Jandhan Aadhaar Mobile, JAM Trinity has brought out, say, 100 million people out of poverty. Evaluate. Now you have to check the standards. Okay. Now you have to check the standards. How it has. Fine. In these 6 commands, any questions till now? Yes, Siddharth.
Sir, can you explain the analyze command once again?
And right now, I did not explain how should I explain once again. I have to explain the analyze. I explained only
Okay.
examine and evaluate.
सर critically analysis
अरे
अलग
वो
अलग
वो तो लिखा ही नहीं है ना मैंने अभी। रुक जाओ, ट्रिपलेट बनाऊंगा।
Sir, evaluate. Once again.
Fine. Evaluate is something you standardize the things. You maintain a checklist kind of things. For example, I gave earlier statement examine na. What was that statement? I will give evaluate only. What was the statement that I gave? अरे बताओ यार किसी में तो याद
What doctor does to you?
Jam Trinity brought out 100 million people out of poverty. Evaluate. Now in evaluation, how it brought out? For example, whether Jam Trinity ensured financial inclusion? Yes. Through financial inclusion, whether it ensured that people are getting loan? Yes. This is criteria of evaluation. The kind of yes or no that I am providing to you, it is the thing that you are evaluating. Kajal, clear? Fine. Now let's move to the analyze once again. Since
सर थोड़ा सर डिस्कस को एक बार बता दीजिए।
किसको?
डिस्कस को।
Discuss is nothing. The things that we are discussing, it can be positive, negative, explaining the things, elaborating about the thing. When you discuss with your parents, when you discuss with me, you do not have any biases. Okay, it's all about whatever it is being shown or whatever it is coming to your mind, you just put it out. But at the same time, in discuss while answering, I always say never approach negative tone. Correct?
ठीक है, हो गया सर।
Fine. Next,
Sir.
let's. हाँ, कौन आया?
सर मैं आया सूरज।
अच्छा, रात को।
यस
चलो।
सर, एग्जामिन इवैल्यूएट में पैरामीटर्स तो सेम ही रहेंगे, तो डिफरेंस कैसे होगा? मतलब
डिफरेंस है ही नहीं ना, तभी तो मैंने ट्रिपलेट बना के दिया है। उन सब का अप्रोच सेम ही रहेगा। इट इज लाइक these three triplet will be answered in the similar manner.
ठीक है सर, थैंक
So that's why I am taking all together. Now analyze, I have to say nothing. That's why I kept in last, so that I can take your doubts first. Done. Okay. So analyze again in similar manner. Just one difference. Thanks for the asking question, Kajal, because you have already made me to answer analyze. When I was answering Kajal, if you remember, I said yes, no is my criteria of evaluation. But at the same time, how I answered, that was analysis, whether financial inclusion. So I am analyzing things now in interrelating the things. Okay, financial inclusion resulted into the loan sanctioning. Loan sanctioning ensured people become entrepreneurs. I am analyzing the points. Had it been in the comment, I would have directly mentioned financial inclusion point first, loan sanctioning point 2, third point entrepreneurship. But when I am kind of writing in a language and there is a connection between all the three, not other points, but within the para itself, within the point itself, it is nothing but analyze. बाकी सो रहे थे जिसने बोला थैंक यू। ओके फाइन, चलो तो लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट ड्राइंग। whatever I have written, okay, उसके आगे क्रिटिकली लगा रहा हूं बस। You will find all three commands together. Okay, when I say examine, analyze, evaluate, but आगे critically है, so critically examine, critically evaluate, critically analyze. Always remember you have to go deeper. So every point will have 2 points. For example, when I said that financial inclusion, along with financial inclusion, I said that loan, I take one part, then entrepreneurship. So this is one point. If I keep continuing in this, it will become khichdi, mixture, which will result into the 4-5 lines paragraph that I don't avoid. अबे सूरज ऐसे मत बैठ भाई, बहुत फनी लग रहा है मुझे देखने में, हंसी आ जाएगी। बिल्कुल एकदम बच्चे की तरह आगे बैठ गया, 2 लगाऊं पीछे से आके फिर मैं, बुद्धि गरम जैसे स्कूल में होती थी, सॉरी ना। फाइन, तो now again we do not have to limit ourselves here, but this paragraph will be related to this paragraph, not completely new model something or new thought process. How it will be related? Suppose entrepreneurship is there, then you can go for job creators, job seekers. Okay, if you remember spillover effect, spillover effect is something that if you do one thing, it is influencing other things as well. Suppose I said to Suraj that Suraj ढंग से बैठ, 2-3 लोग और ढंग से बैठ गए होंगे, कहीं मेरे ऊपर कमेंट ना आ जाए, तो that was spillover effect. Suppose I have said that okay, now reduce the repo rate, push the money in the market, so people will have money, people will purchase more. Spillover effect. So direct as well as indirect effect can be termed spillover. Fine. So this kind of deeper analysis will be the critically thing. Now, critically evaluate and critically analyze is something that no one get scared. But critically examine, when you will be writing mains, teachers, mentors, peers will make you give different definitions. They will say critically examine is something where you have to dismantle the question. When I say dismantle the question, you have to write against the question or the statement. Okay. For the same, I have told n number of aspirants, yes, it is dilemma how to deal with it. Even the professors, those who evaluate the UPSC questions, after interacting with them, I have got n number of different answers. But at the same time, when you cannot see what works for you, you can certainly, I will say, visualize what will not work for you. For example, like in the last class, Siddharth, like he's been with me from last 1.5 months, I guess, and he still do not know my name. So he asked that Ujjwal sir. So fine, even people were like, Ujjwal kaun aa gaya bhai team mein? Now critically examine, he knows that इस बात पे खिंचाई अब पूरे साल चलेगी, because after 1.5 months you cannot afford to like miss I will say miss my name at least. Fine. So this is it. You know that this will not work. What works? He too figured it out. Target पूरा कर लो, 2-3 काम extra कर लो, sir will not cross question. Sir को यही चाहिए. तो I asked कि हाँ यार इस पे तेरे को सुनाना था, तो he was like नहीं सर वो टारगेट पूरा था, भूल गए. So that was the conversation between us. Fine. Similarly, अब ये context क्यों set किया? Now you know that what you don't know what is working. What is not working, you know that. Work on that. For example, if you write 100% negative, you will end up writing question, maybe that examiner like me who wants to have a positive outlook in the student or aspirant, he will say अरे यार सब negative लिख दिया, इतना negative थोड़ी है इंडिया में, नहीं सब. So what you do, 60% or 55% negative in the starting, okay, but 45% positive in the end, because all of you have read, if end is well, all is well, ant bhala to sab bhala. Fine. So critically examine for the command. Please make sure that 55 to 60% of the question should criticize the question, or should be against the answer, should be against the statement. But at the same time, end of the question should be positive itself. Fine. Now, any questions, any doubt in these 3 commands? If any, please do ask.
So
Yes,
Could you
please.
could you please take any statement or a question to further elaborate these three: critically examine, critically evaluate, and analyze?
Okay, statement will remain same because I'm not going to do extra work. Okay, statement is Gem Trinity brought out 100 million people out of poverty. Critically examine. When I say critically examine, then you will still say how you will criticize it. Jan Dhan accounts, people are not having transactions. Second, we have opened the account, but digital literacy is not there. They are being part of fraud and all. Third, Aadhaar enabled system ensure that old age people are not getting the desired fingerprints and all. So negative. Positive, again, you will talk all the positive that I have already spoken in the evaluate part. Okay, so you do that, in the end, that's it. Fine. When I say critically evaluate, you don't have to be negative. You can be negative 1 or 2 points. Evaluate, when I say critically evaluate, go deeper. Whether it is job creation is there. If you can quote any report, you will find a report that how job creation is there due to entrepreneurship. Ministry of Skill Development and Enterprise certainly will have certain kind of report. Niti Aayog, इसीलिए तो बैठे हैं ना consultants. That's why they are there. Fine. Then you are supporting it. In the evaluate, you just mentioned, yeah, job create hui. Critically evaluate, you are supporting it. Even if you are criticizing, you are supporting it, the fact, data, committee, commission report. Fine. Am I clear? Who was it?
यस सर, एक चीज पूछना था।
बोलिए।
सर, जो हमारा पहला सवाल था कि नॉन कॉपरेशन मूवमेंट अगर नहीं रोके होते तो उसको अगर पॉजिटिव एंड में कैसे अगर क्रिटिकली
अब देखो, एक बात बताता हूँ, डेजर्ट लास्ट में खाए जाते हैं, ठीक है? जब सवाल के ऊपर चलेंगे तब सवाल वाला क्वेश्चन लाना। पहले रसगुल्ला खाएगा, फिर दाल चावल खा लेगा, फिर मिर्च खाएगा, फिर कहेगा पापड़ दे दो, फिर लास्ट में सूप पिएगा। ये कौन था? अक्षय?
हाँ सर, सूप तो आखिरी में हम ही पीते।
हाँ, तो फिर बाद में करेंगे यार, आराम से। भी चलने तो जो चल रहा है, सभा समाप्त नहीं हुई है अभी।
ठीक है सर।
और anyone else? Any doubt? Fine. No doubt. Clear. Now almost कौन आया?
सर मानसी सर, ये क्यों है सर? एग्जाम क्रिटिकली तो सब में ही है, तो एग्जामिन में नेगेटिव क्यों लिखते हैं और इवैल्यूएट और एनालिसिस में पॉजिटिव क्यों लिखते हैं?
नहीं, इवैल्यूएट में भी लिख सकते हैं, बट सिर्फ क्रिटिकली एग्जामिन। इवन आई डोंट नो व्हाई इट हैज बीन मेंशन्ड दैट यू हैव टू डिसमेंटल द क्वेश्चन. So that's why I created a safe passage that 55% negative, then 45%. Even 50-50 we work. Even I don't know that why this conception is there. Okay, so while writing mails, if you come to me with these kind of doubts, I literally would not have answered. So I'll say, okay, you write this, certainly you will get good marks. And this works. At least mental peace ke liye work, it is working. In my opinion, it doesn't matter. But when you will interact apart from this group or other people or other teachers, sometimes they will say, hey, you have to dismantle the question. For their sake, for the mains preparation, I have made it clear right now. Am I clear, Mansi?
Yes.
Fine. Now clear the YouTube karna. Fine. Last two statements. Oh, sorry, commands. My favorite. Both are my favorite. Illustrate, elucidate. Illustrate is nothing but you have to give examples. Don't go there and start drawing. Draw nahi karna kuch, hai na? If you can draw a map, that is good. Nothing else. Okay. So illustrate is about examples. Elucidate is about do away ambiguity. What is ambiguity? Can anyone tell me?
Not so clear.
Good.
Vague.
क्या बोला काजल?
Vague.
हाँ. Means you cannot take the stand. You cannot take the stand. That is ambiguity. Fine. So you have to take the stand. For example, India is pseudo democracy. Elucidate. Now I'm saying nakli democracy. Like, I don't know why I'm putting all this in recording. I should not have used this, but yes, कोई बात नहीं. देखी जाएगी अब जो होगा. Okay. So pseudo democracy. You have to take this stand. Certainly, you have to take the positive stand. Okay. Why it is too harsh to say it is pseudo democracy? You have to take this stand. Illustrate. Same question. Suppose illustrate why it seems to be pseudo democracy. How a single party can come in power. How ultimately powers are remaining in the hands of center. Fine. These things you can mention in the examples. So this was it. I guess we dealt around 8 or 10 commands. These are the general commands that we get. Apart from that, if any comes, then they will be dealt accordingly. Fine. Now any questions in these two? Because these were very simple. Fine then.
सर एक डाउट था. सर अभी आपने बोला कि इलस्ट्रेट और उसमें भी एग्जांपल्स हैं, है ना, और इलैबोरेट उसमें भी एग्जांपल्स हैं, तो दोनों में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है?
Elaborate, I told you have to go explain the things, different dimensions, different perspectives. You can supplement it with the examples. Sometimes you will not get the examples, even that is fine. But when it is mentioned illustrate, it is mandatory that you will mention examples.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine then. Let's किसी को और कुछ डाउट? एनी डाउट? एनीवन?
सर एलुसिडेट एक बार बता दीजिए.
कौन आया ये? बोला कौन? पहले ये बताओ. अरे क्रॉस क्वेश्चन.
अक्षय. अक्षय सर.
अक्षय. अक्षय. सो व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय एलुसिडेट? पहले तो मुझे ये समझ में आना चाहिए.
सर एलुसिडेट से हमको एम्बिगिटीज वो वाला सब सिर्फ दिमाग में घूम रहा है.
अरे यार वो वाला मत बोलो, मुझे क्या पता वो किसका मत.
एम्बिगिटी शब्द घूम रहा है सिर्फ.
हाँ वाह, हाँ एम्बिग्विटी सही घूम रहा है. तुम समझ क्या रहे हो उससे, ये तो बताओ पहले मुझे.
मतलब एम्बिगिटी लग रहा है कि कोई स्टैंड लेना है नहीं लेना है, मतलब समझ में नहीं आया एलुसिडेट में करना क्या है अपने को.
फर्स्ट लाइन दैट आई रोट, टू डू अवे ambiguities. So ambiguity is already there. तुम्हें वो ambiguity हटानी है. It means you have to take this stand. Got it?
हाँ सर.
Fine. सोते सोते पढ़ोगे तो यही होगा, पढ़ते पढ़ते सोया करो. Fine. और कुछ किसी का कुछ डाउट? Else we shall be moving to the next.
सर मेरा थोड़ा सा पहले का डाउट है, मतलब ये क्रिटिकली एग्जामिन जो आपने बताया सर, इसमें आपने बताया सर 50 to 60% क्रिटिसाइज द क्वेश्चन. तो ये बॉडी में अगर हम क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे तो पहले पॉजिटिव नोट पे आएगा या फिर मतलब कैसे ये डिफरेंशिएट करेंगे कि?
I already told you, first negative then positive. Introduction normal, then you have to talk against the statement, then you have to talk for the statement.
तो सर इससे एग्जामिनर को ऐसा नहीं लगेगा कि ये तो नेगेटिव है?
No. In the end, you are talking all the positive, na? Conclusion as well.
Sir.
So it is positive. ठीक है?
Yes sir, clear.
Fine. Let's move to the. सबके पास क्वेश्चन है ना? कोई ये मत बोलना कि क्वेश्चन नहीं है. Everyone will be getting a voice note जिसने मुझे आज तक भेजा है. ठीक है? I will be sending voice note to everyone who ever tried to write the introduction or conclusion. Okay? Most likely tomorrow. So those who have written, they will be divided. अब कोई भेजेगा तो I am 100% sure I am not going to evaluate. You are going to send me message, I will delete from my end. I am 100% sure. I've already told you that I should be having your introduction and conclusion by the starting of next session. Though even Yadgiri have sent me just before the session, I will accept, but not now. So first question, had Gandhiji not ended non-cooperation movement, India would have not got the independence in 1930s only. Would have got the independence, sorry. Akshay, what was your question? Can you repeat? अक्षय
यस सर
क्या क्वेश्चन था
सर क्वेश्चन यही था कि इस सवाल में जब हम लोग पॉजिटिवली एंड कर रहे होंगे तो इसको अब कैसे पॉजिटिवली एंड करेंगे क्योंकि हम तो कुछ और ही करके आ गए
ठीक है नाउ सी कैन एनीवन टेल मी व्हाट इज द कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन I shall stop the recording because this will be open session now.
100 years come.
How to control your introduction basically. How it should not go 3-4 lines. Whenever you are thinking about the introduction, it might be a case that you will think that this will go up to this point. Suppose there are 3-4 points in your mind. Make sure that you stick to the 1 or 2 point. Major point. That's it. No need to explain all the things. Like what Suraj did. He started well off, and then suddenly he wanted to like put all the knowledge in the introduction itself. Why to do that? Only one point I kept, rest ignored. Same you have to force your mind. And once it is there, it is done. Now with this, let's move to the conclusion part. Okay. So conclusion part, as I said, you in the previous para of the conclusion. Oh, sorry, I forgot one Kajal's question. How to link? When you are writing introduction, suppose I have taken that word var1 mentioned by the Yadgiri. Okay. Word var1 failures. Indians were questioning the intentions of the Britishers. Something like this I used in the introduction. Post World War I scenario forced Indians to question the intentions of the Britishers. In this background, non-cooperation movement emerged, led by Gandhiji. Again, 3 lines only. It won't cross more than 4 lines, even if you're writing too much big. Now, Kajal was asking how to connect, sir. Remember yesterday's session? Signboard. Had Gandhiji not ended non-cooperation movement. Now you can have 2 types of headings. Had Gandhiji not ended non-cooperation movement. This is the heading itself. Why Gandhiji had to end non-cooperation movement. Second heading. When I am going with the second heading, you are starting with the support of Gandhiji. You are missing negative. You cannot criticize. Therefore, you have to criticize first, only 2 or 3 points, not more than that. So by mentioning both the statements, I gave you structure, Kajal. First, had Gandhiji not ended, what would have happened? Positive scenario, revolutionaries ne kara diya. Negative scenario is actually the answer of your why Gandhiji had to answer. End the movement. Am I clear, Kajal? Now, did you get the structure?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. So, keywords of the question will be your headings, as discussed in the yesterday's session. Okay, in the last session, sorry, not yesterday's. This will give you structure. Pointers we have already discussed in the body. When it is says conclusion, I have given you a number of conclusion. How you can conclude? As I think Kajal or Mansi, I don't know who mentioned, struggle to struggle strategy. Only this end of movement ensured na, that these things cannot be sustained forever. Gandhiji gave the idea of struggle to struggle strategy. So this has been applied to n number of occasions. You cannot sustain any movement for the very long period of time. This can be one of the conclusion. Second, non-cooperation movement when ended It also ensured people to do constructive work on the caste system, on the hierarchy issues, self-sufficiency, studies. Now movement is going on. विनय नौकरी वोकरी छोड़ के पहुंच गया मूवमेंट में शामिल होने. पापा का फोन आया पैसे. What to do? Vinay is like, let me go back to my jobs. Struggle, truce period, at least she will earn again something. So it helped economy as well. This is how you can mold your answer. Fine. Application based. Or how to answer in the present situation. Like when the different movements goes on, strikes goes on, they do apply struggle to struggle. You will find suddenly they become violent, chakka jam and all. Then next day they are sitting on the dharna, chup chap, shanti se. That is how they do it. Fine. India against corruption movement. It was not like that movement is always on peak. Struggle to peak time, low time, peak time, low time. It goes on. Fine. So this kind of be one or two kinds of conclusions. Let's move to the second question. Sorry, like I almost took your 1 hour. I have promised for 30 minutes. Huh? Still have to discuss 2 more questions. Discuss the various peasant movements during the freedom struggle. Now the command is itself discussed. In these kind of questions, peasant movements, you have only one keyword, peasant movements. Peasants are farmers. Why they will create havoc, or why will they create movement, or why will they pursue any kind of dharna and all? Only 2 or 3 conditions. When they are not getting right kind of remuneration for their crops, if they are being charged more than the required taxes. Okay, so you say Britishers, policies of Britishers for the farmers. A peasant movement were the answers, was the answer towards the policies of the Britishers of that time. Now divide the peasant movement in the phases. ऐसा तो है नहीं peasant movement 1857 में शुरू हुआ and it continued till 1947. It is not like that. Peasant movement here, peasant movement here. If you cannot divide in the year wise, divide into the region wise. Somewhere indigo is there, somewhere Tehbhaga movement is there. Different kind of movements is there. This question will be structured in the 2 kinds of structure. I hope, am I clear? Any questions, any doubt, else I will be moving towards the conclusion. No questions, no doubt. Fine. Conclusion. Now it is talking about discuss. Na? The various paper freedom struggle. Application. Suppose me and Vinay were on the road. One policeman challaned him. Same policeman misbehaved with me. We are like exploited by the same policeman. Now we have solidarity. Different causes. He has been challaned for the right cause, but he feels that challan should be of lower amount. I have been abused, say manhandled by the policeman. So we are like, iska kuch karte hain. Similarly, peasant movements integrated with other people. Traders, exploiter is same na, Britishers. So it too helped the providing strength to the movement. मैं अकेले लड़ने जा रहा था. Now विनय सर, चलो सर मैं भी चलता हूं. Fine. Strength आया. Now even senior officials of the policemen will think, हाँ, it might be a cause of concern because single person is not completing. There are 3-4 people who are coming together. So that is how we do application things. Okay. Again, peasant movements. When if you look at the where Sardar Patel was there, Champaran was there. Okay, as Bardoli Satyagraha.
Bardoli Satyagraha.
क्या बरदोली बोला यार मैंने भी, अब स्पेलिंग पूछेगा क्या? ठीक है फाइन, मजाक कर रहा हूँ, दिल पे मत लियो, लेगा तो मेरा क्या बिगाड़ेगा। फाइन। ओके, इन ब्रिटिशर्स took step backwards. Fine. One step, second step backwards. It means it kind of confidence was provided. When they are compromising, it is kind of confidence that we are getting. Even Britishers are listening to us. We can do more. वो if you remember like होता है ना हिंदी में कहावत, उंगली पकड़ाई थी हाथ पकड़ लिया। कॉन्फिडेंस ही तो होता है उन लोगों में। If you accept once that yeah, I was at for little fault, next time the सामने वाला person, yeah, I can find more fault in him. Be ruthless. Don't accept your fault. Fine. This is it. That is how you can go for the application based things. Now, let me read question again. Even I have to read question again to sustain different conclusion. So you too should read question again and again. You will get multiple perspective. Okay, peasant movements, economic things. Now, peasant movement ensured that how rural economy is survived. Suppose Indigo revolt, they were charging too much rent and all taxes. But at the same time, when they lowered it down, now peasants got the money. It helps to the rural economy. Na? When you have money, you will certainly spend. Na? You do not have money, you do not spend. Give me 10 crore rupees, I will buy a Ferrari. Or at least a penthouse. Fine. Similarly, help to survive rural economy. अपने आप में एक नया concept. Now you are looking at your brain, how you are linking a simple concept of taxes and all to the rural economy. How movements is helping through the rural economy. Confidence, policy issues. Fine. Any questions in the conclusion? Else I will be moving to the last question.
सर मेरे क्वेश्चन है ये कल जो भी क्वेश्चन दिया था सर आपने परसों सॉरी, तो इसमें आपने बताया था कि आप गूगल भी कर लेना, तो मैंने जब गूगल किया सर उसमें फार्म लॉज और रिपील ऑफ फार्म लॉज इसके बारे में भी डिस्कशन था सर कंक्लूजन में, तो वो कंटेक्स्ट लगाना ठीक रहेगा मतलब?
हाँ, रिसेंट टाइम का पीजन मूवमेंट वही है ना. इवन इन द रिसेंट टाइम्स democratic like in country recent movement sorry, even in the recent times in democratic country like India, peasant movement led to the repeal of farm laws. प्यारा सा कंक्लूजन बन गया, करंट अफेयर से रिलेट हो गया. देखो एक्सेप्टेबल, ठीक है.
तो सर ये ब्यूरोक्रेसी इसको एक्सेप्ट करती है क्या सर इसको मूवमेंट को मतलब?
Obviously, what how you cannot accept it? You are repealing your laws without accepting it. Fine. Okay. So last question of the session. Since 1939, process of freedom was started, but not of partition. Give detailed information about the event which led to partition of India. Okay. So why 1939?
Second World War.
Fine. Who said it?
सर
कौन बोला? सूरज?
नहीं सर, अभी बोलूंगा सर.
नहीं अभी रुक जा. फिर किसने बोला ये? अभी किसने बोला?
प्रशांत.
हाँ प्रशांत, बिल्डअप कर यार इस पे, क्योंकि ये बुध सही है. ओके फाइन, हिंट दे रहा हूं. सो 1939 सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर. फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर Britishers were still in power. Second World War, were Britishers that strong, or the new powers were coming?
No sir, new powers emerged, world dynamics बिल्कुल change हो गया था उसके बाद.
Exactly, that's okay fine, that's it. Build up कर लिया, that's it. Okay, so the thing is that new powers came and they are like, you are not, if for India they have, it is not my colony. Afraid. USA is there, Japan is there. Even though Japan was on other side, but it was a power. Even Germany was supporting Indian cause, Indian National Army. Fine. So this is the context. Now, due to the international circumstances, process of freedom started. Even the Britishers, with the very passage of every year, Britishers' powers were losing. Then you will say INA revolt, naval mutiny, whatnot. You can mention all those things. Fine. This can be your introduction. सूरज कुछ बोलना था तो बोल ले.
1937 का जो इलेक्शन हुआ था उसमें मुस्लिम्स की बहुत कम मेजॉरिटी थी. जब पॉलिटिसाइज करा तो उसके बाद ज्यादा.
Again, what is happening? Question is asking about the freedom, and you are going to the communal part. That will come when we will talk about the partition. Partition is certainly not a positive term. I have already told you not to use in introduction, and you started using. यही सोचना है. When you are going to talk about the partition, certainly if it is forced, like सिर्फ partition के बारे में, communalism के बारे में बात हो रही है तो introduction में कर लो यार. Then you can certainly talk about the communalism, partition and all. It is certainly a negative connotation for India. Okay. But then you have other option. You can talk about other things. Talk about the freedom now. Why to talk about the negative things first? Just because it seems fascinating. Wow. It doesn't mean it should be there. Think about it. Never ever start your question with the negative connotation. Clear? Fine. So you can take the, I'll say, as Prashant mentioned, okay, since 1939 process of freedom was started, but not of partition, give detailed information. Then you can go for the how freedom process started. Then second part, when it started, process of partition. Again, what happened in 1940? August offer. August offer?
मुस्लिम इंडिया लीग में वो
अगस्त ऑफर है वो?
नहीं, मैंने नहीं बोला अगस्त.
अच्छा, क्या हुआ था? मतलब हम मुस्लिम इंडिया.
ओके सर.
हाँ बोलो बोलो.
सर मुस्लिम लीग ने पास किया था, उसकी वजह से रेजोल्यूशन पास किया था.
कौन सा रेजोल्यूशन? हाँ,
पाकिस्तान डे रिजोल्यूशन.
पाकिस्तान डे, और उसका कुछ नाम भी था, मुझे भी नहीं याद आ रहा. आई गेस कोई डिक्लेरेशन था ना, अगस्त डिक्लेरेशन, इफ आई एम करेक्ट.
अगस्त डिक्लेरेशन तो
यस सर, अगस्त डिक्लेरेशन था.
अगस्त डिक्लेरेशन तो 1917 में था.
सर अगस्त ऑफर था ना 19.
अगस्त ऑफर.
एक मिनट यार,
अगस्त ऑफर तो अलग है.
डायरेक्ट एक्शन, सॉरी, डायरेक्ट एक्शन डे ऐसा कुछ था, इफ आई एम करेक्ट. लेट मी गूगल इट आउट. डायरेक्ट एक्शन डे
was in 1946.
1946 में सर वो.
वही है, उसी की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं अभी. ठीक है, 1940s मुस्लिम लीग डिक्लेरेशन का है कुछ. उसके बाद हर जगह जो मतलब अगस्त ऑफर आया, या सॉरी, नॉन इन द स्पीकर्स. 1940s whatever offer came, अगस्त ऑफर, माउंटबेटन, बिफोर अगस्त ऑफर के बाद क्या आया 1940s में?
प्रपोजल.
हाँ, क्रिस्ट प्रपोजल, कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान. Everywhere you will find there was an element of communalization. Everywhere we have accepted somehow that these portions are either, if you remember the groupings were there, that somehow it was there that India is moving towards the communalization. 1946, a proper direct action day is there. Fine. This timeline you have to mention in the proving communalization. That how it initiated from the very movements itself, even the Britishers were going to accept the same. But at the same time, another statement you should say, because you have to go against the question in this question. As mentioned, that how even the establishment of Muslim League led to the communalization. How separate electorates led to the communalization. So the seeds of the partition started from there. Lahore Declaration. क्या था भाई लाहौर डिक्लेरेशन?
सर 1940 वाला वो
Sir, Lahore resolution that Muslim majority areas of India in northwest and east should be constituted as independent for Muslim majority people.
तो ये भी आ गया 1940s में, ठीक है, फाइन, थैंक यू. Okay, so this way you will say that seeds were planted way before 1940s. Now conclusion, since you will see that you have already defined the question, then the partition wala part ho gaya. How to conclude? How to conclude? Now I will ask you, because I have a very specific conclusion for this question. I want you guys to answer first.
So may I?
Yes.
Sir, what I have written is ki the partition of India was an unfortunate event. Even today, the relationship between India and Pakistan are marred with communal events, border clashes, and trade suspension.
This kind of introduction you have to write when you have nothing to write.
Sir, वो मौलाना अबुल कलाम जो बोले थे ना कि शरीर का एक हिस्सा अगर सड़ जाए तो पूरा शरीर गल जाने से अच्छा उस हिस्सा को हटा दो. तो
perfect, fine, perfectly fine. Quotation can be used here. Fine, Akshay, accepted. Anyone else?
पार्टीशन एक ग्रेजुअल प्रोसेस थी जो ब्रिटिश के डिवाइड एंड रूल की पॉलिसी की वजह से
Good. This is called application. Okay, so he brought a context in the conclusion itself that how divide and rule policy results into the. Now I will add just one single line, whatever he has said, that even in the present times, if the fruits of benefits is not divided amongst all, it can lead to the partition. This is the conclusion. Okay, whatever he has said, I'm just adding one line. Why I'm saying Naxalism movement, all the separatist movement, why it is happening? It is also one of the perspectives that resources of that area are being utilized by others and the benefits are not reaching to them. Fine, you cannot write this on the examination directly that I mentioned later on, but whatever I have mentioned earlier, you can write. Fine. Okay, fine. More conclusions?
Sir, can we justify the event of partition in case? I mean, would you recommend it?
By Abul Kalam's statement, he has just justified it.
No, sir. For example, sir, in the other colonized countries, which were enough communalized like India, which were not partitioned, for example, Rwanda and Syria and its states, those later led to genocides, the Rwandan genocides and Syrian wars. So it was better to have a partition and live peaceful lives.
Average kind of in conclusion can be done, but again, it is a negative thing and not sponsored by any thought process. So avoid.
Sir.
Yeah.
सर आपने अभी क्या पॉइंट बोला था जिसको हम लोग लिख नहीं सकते हैं? अभी वाला आपने जो पॉइंट रखा था वो एक बार क्या था?
That you should not directly mention in the conclusion that Naxalites and all have been not been benefited. That's why they have emerged. Not in conclusion.
तो इसमें हम लोग क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं कि मतलब रिसोर्स नहीं मिल पा रहा था इसलिए पार्टीशन हुआ? मतलब समझे नहीं है क्या आप बोलना चाह रहे हैं?
मैंने क्या बोला मुझे तो याद नहीं रहता बोलने के बाद, मैं सोचता हूँ मैंने बोला क्या. हाँ, आई एम सेइंग दैट, क्या बोला था यार, मेरे को कोई पहले रिपीट करवाओ, मुझे भी नहीं याद आ रहा.
If the profits of benefits are not distributed equally.
Yeah, dividend. Okay, if the profits of the benefits is not divided amongst the people, okay, then it too can lead to the partition or the separatist movements. जैसे मैंने एक्सप्लेन करके बोला है, नक्सलाइट डायरेक्ट बोल दिया है, डायरेक्ट नाम नहीं लेना कंक्लूजन में, मेरे कहने का मतलब ये बॉडी का पार्ट होता है, ठीक है?
यस।
थैंक यू मेगा, इट सीम्स दैट एटलीस्ट यू आर राइटिंग फाइन। ओके, सो एनी मोर कंक्लूजन पार्टिसिपेशन एल्स? सोच सकते थे यार, इतना टाइम है। विनय, मानसी, विवेक और कौन दिख रहा है मुझे? रघुनाथ, fine, let me handle it. 2-3 perspectives again I will give you. Okay, so first thing that give detailed information about event which led to partition of India. Okay, freedom have different meanings for different people. For some people freedom of India was their freedom. For some people partition from India was their freedom. This is the context that I want to explain. ये conclusion नहीं है, ठीक है? इस background में you can further it. Even now positive, जो मैंने बोला ना, इंडिया को पॉजिटिव में रखने वाला हूं बस. Freedom of Bangladesh did not come with the freedom of Pakistan. They suffered for almost 25 years. Almost 25 years to attain their freedom. समझ में आ गया किस कंटेक्स्ट में मैंने बोला है? Any questions over it? Fine. Again, partition of India is a great lesson of history for the modern times. The recent war between Ukraine and Russia, can we say that it is due to non-partition only? Had it been that it would have been partitioned, unmute करके अगर बिना कुछ बोल रहे तो नहीं. Had it been
Sir, part of USSR.
Part of USSR, disintegration of USSR, you can bring that as well. Fall of Berlin Wall, you can take different terms in the conclusion. It is not always that partitions are right and cannot be united. अखंड भारत भी बनेगा, believe me, POK वापस आएगा, ठीक है? आने दो 2024. Fine. So fall of Berlin Wall, you can say the way islands are being constructed by China, I am hopeful that one China policy will sustain. Certainly it will. Might is always right. Okay, so these things you can bring. Economic point of view you can bring. That how partitions divide the resources of the region. How partition divides the people. For example, border people have their lineages together. They have common lineages. नेपाल के साथ अभी भी बहु बेटी का रिश्ता है हमारा. You can mention all these things. Fine. Clear हुआ कुछ conclusion and all? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Any doubts?
नो सर, मैं एक अपनी तरफ से कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ सर. इसमें वे एड में हम कुछ लिख सकते हैं क्या सर?
किसमें?
मीन्स कि सच लाइक एज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजंस विद आर्टिकल 25 टू आर्टिकल 30 प्रोवाइडेड
Yes.
फॉर.
Thank you for the bringing this point. ना एक और अच्छा आइडिया है. It was the partition that made our founding fathers concerned about religious freedom, which was ensured through Article 25 to 29. That is how we ensure that कि अब partition नहीं होगा, at least on these grounds. Thank you, Vinay, for like bringing this point. ना मेरे दिमाग में नहीं था, इसीलिए कहता हूँ when I open the stage, you guys speak up. I'm not conducting a classroom kind of program. It is mentorship kind of program. If you guys are able to absorb the process of how to think. Okay. I did not have this in my mind. All credit goes to Vinay. But yes, when he brought up that, I ensured yeah, build up kiya ja sakta hai. Once you are into habit of this build up, believe me, you will be able to answer at least 17 to 18 questions in the UPSC mains examination. I can guarantee about. Just learn how to think in polity, how to think in history, how to think in other subjects, rather than how to mug up. Mug up is necessary, you cannot avoid, but how to think is more important. When such kind of sessions happens, be it integrated batch, be it MOM, be it Kaizen, it will help you to think the same concept from the other perspectives. This is how you will learn to recall, how you will learn to have a retention value. The thing that you were not able to do in the first reading, when people were approaching me, sir, pad to liya hai, I'm unable to recall or remember anything. Sir, I have studied enough, but I'm unable to recall what to do. And I used to say, stop it, just read it. Have faith on me. When you do these kind of exercise, maybe once in a while with me, okay, on regular basis with you. Right now, I have said only sorry. So right now, I said that only read, but now from the read, we are moving towards the solving the previous year questions. Fine. So this was it from my side for this session. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Let me stop recording first. Just a minute. I'm not going.